In the last few days, leaders of the Arab sectors, as they call them in Israel, have gotten together. And they watched this horror film of October 7th. The rape, the debauchery, the barbarism. And they came out of this shaken. Shaken. And many of these leaders, some are Muslim, some are Christian, whatever, they said, we are all Israelis. That this is unacceptable. We completely and utterly reject what has been taking place and the ideology behind it. I sent this to my wife, Julie. I spent a significant amount of time over there. And she wrote this to me. I learned very long time ago, in 2007 to be precise, that there are many Arab Israelis, citizens of Israel, who live in the Arab quarter and outside the Arab quarter. They want to be assimilated, they want to be considered citizens, and they are proud of the same. They pay taxes, they get protection of the Israeli police. Some are on their courts, some get elected, and they view themselves very differently from most of the people who live in Gaza and the West Bank, very differently than the vast majority of Palestinians. So it is important that distinctions are being made, that people be judged by their actions. And that's one of the things Enes Freedom has basically put his life on the line to explain, to defend. Because he also rejects this ideology, this Islamist ideology, and not just the Islamist ideology, the communist ideology, where 2.5 million Uyghurs are rounded up and sent to concentration camps. And also the Russian regime's ideology that rounds up innocent Chechens and murders and brutalizes them. And for this, Enes Freedom doesn't play in the National Basketball Association anymore. Because his morality, his belief system, is not up for negotiation. Regardless of how much money is thrown at him, regardless of how much money he loses. And I've met Enes Freedom once. He's been on my Fox show once. And yet I consider him a friend. Isn't that weird, Enes? I don't know you that well, but I feel like I do, and yet I consider you a friend. What do you think about that?
You know, I watch your show so many times, man. I do consider you a friend. So I feel like I've known you for a very long time.
And you see what's going on. You literally have, it's not progressive, a Marxist member of the House of Representatives who's the leader of the Marxist wing of the Democrat Party. She goes on CNN, hardly a conservative network, and she cannot explicitly say that what happened on October 7th to those girls, and more information coming out about the horrendous brutality, torture, and murder, and she won't condemn it without conditioning it. Did you see that?
I did see that, unfortunately, yep.
What do you make of this? How can people in public office in the United States conduct themselves this way?
Yeah. So I want to get this first. You know what Hamas did. I want to get this on a record because I mean sometimes people can get it wrong. What Hamas did on October 7th has nothing to do with true Islam. You know, I mean I do a lot of research about my faith, and I know what our Prophet Muhammad says. We have war rules. Our Prophet says, when you go to a war, do not kill a child, do not kill a woman, do not kill the elderly, do not kill a sick person, do not cut down trees, do not kill animals, do not kill surrender. Do not enforce Islam. Do not disfigure the dead. Do not kill a rabbi or a priest. Do not kill those who ran away or destroy buildings. Do not destroy a worship place. So anything other than that is not true Islam. So I'm just confused when I see a lot of the Muslim leaders out there, lots of, even like members of our Congress, are not condemning Hamas. And to me, it's just unbelievable.
What do you make of groups like CARE? Now, CARE was created at a meeting outside of the Philadelphia airport in a Marriott hotel by Hamas. And it claims that it is the biggest Muslim civil rights organization in America. No, it's the biggest Hamas front group in the United States. And for people like me and other people who obviously aren't Muslim, my question to you is this. Is this why there's so much slaughter of Muslims by Muslims in the Middle East and elsewhere? This battle between these terrorists and the Islamists and other Muslims that don't embrace this? Is that what's going on in part?
I actually saw this on the news. Do you remember when ISIS burned Yazidi civilians alive? And I did not see one Muslim that take it to the street and march or protested. So I'm sitting down, and sometimes I'm having conversations with some of my Muslim friends out there. I'm like, you guys are so silent when an Arab kills another Arab.
We're here with Enes Freedom. Enes, so you were telling the story. You said to some of your Muslim friends when ISIS was slaughtering Arabs, Muslims, why aren't they speaking out? And tell us about that. Why aren't they speaking out?
So I remember sitting down in a big conference, and I literally asked them. I was like, where were you when ISIS was launched in the name of Islam and literally beheaded tens of thousands of Arabs in Libya, Syria, and Iraq? Why didn't you take it to the streets, raise their flag, and condemn the terror or call for a ceasefire? Where were you in the last decade when Arab countries killed and starved out more than 400,000 Yemenis? I didn't see any of you take it to the streets or raise the Yemeni flag, condemn the terror, or call for a ceasefire. And when there's 2.53 million Uyghurs, Muslim Uyghurs, are in concentration camps getting tortured and raped every day, you guys are silent. So why were you so silent then, and why are you so silent now? No one. It was cricket in the meeting room. I couldn't hear anything. So I'm thinking, is that like a pure anti-Semitism? Is that like the Jew hatred? So I'm just confused. If they really care about the Muslims, then take you to the streets and raise a Yemeni flag, raise the Iraqi flag, or
Syria
flag.
For crying out loud.
Exactly. Look at what's happening in Syria, and no one is talking. Look what's happening in China towards Uyghur people. No one says a word about it. So I'm just confused, man. I'm just so tired of the hypocrisy, and I'm just calling them out because even if they're my same religion, I gotta call them out, man. Because I don't care who you are. If you are, standing for something that wrong, I'm gonna call you out.
I really can actually feel for you and with you here, because when I've called out what I call self-hating Jews, who are basically mouthpieces for what Hamas is doing, it takes their data and regurgitates it and so forth, and starts condemning Israel and condemning them left and right, and I don't think legitimately in many of these cases, I'm called an anti-Semite. Can you believe that? Are you called like an anti-Muslim or something? Do you get the name calling too?
Oh man, forget about the name calling. I get death threats. I literally get death threats. If you see my DMs, if you see my DM box, it's disgusting. And this is happening in America, So that's why, we live, I keep saying that we live in the best country in the world, because if I was anywhere else in the world, I would get shot already, But even if there is a danger of me getting shot, I got to call them out, because that's what my faith through Islam tells me to do, stand for what's right, even if it means sacrificing everything. So that's why.
So what you were cut off of the NBA and basketball and so forth. So what do you do now? You go speaking engagements, you're mission oriented, that sort of thing?
So I'm starting a new project. So it's going to call a AAA, Abrahamic Athletic Accords, Abrahamic Athletic Academy, actually. So we are literally bringing kids from different religions, different colors, and we're going to play basketball. And I want to take those kids to places like Israel, places like Dubai, and places like Rome, and actually show them themselves. I want to show them and say, look, you've been taught your whole life to hate Israel, hate Jewish people, hate this and that. See it yourself. So I'm really excited about it. It's an amazing project because it's literally bringing all the Abrahamic religions together and play. And we're going to play basketball. We're not going to talk about no conflict, no war, nothing. I just want them to be friends and, be friends. And I think the rest is going to take care of itself. But other than that, right now, I just go around and do speaking engagements, and especially colleges right now. It's very, very a nasty place, unfortunately.
Dangerous.
It's happening in America. Yes, very dangerous. So I go to college campus and speak. And I just want to say, man, if you're a college student, do not get your information from TikTok. This is like literally people don't read anymore. They go on TikTok and they get their source, and that's literally their source. And they get their daily news from TikTok, and obviously it's a propaganda, it's a brainwashing app, and they think they know everything now, and they go to colleges, and then they threaten other people.
Yeah, and TikTok is obviously the baby of the communist regime in China that's trying to promote conflict and ethnic wars and all the rest of it in order to advance their agenda and so forth. Well, I want to thank you. And when are you going to launch this? Because when you launch it, I want you to come back, let us talk, figure out how our audience can help.
Of course. I'm thinking about launching it in summertime in 2024, and I think it's going to be an amazing time, man, because right now there's so much anti-Semitism and Islamophobia out there, and I think we need some kind of project like that. So I'm excited about it.
All right, man. Well, God bless you. Take care of yourself, and thanks for reaching out.
Of course.
All right. Be well.